carousel of color. Wonderful, wonderful color.
Walt Disney presents
The wonderful world of color.
Gallegher Goes West. And now your host, Walt Disney.
In a moment, we'll bring you another story of our Gallegher Goes West series. It seems that young Gallegher figured he could do a more efficient job of reporting and step up the circulation of the Brimstone Blast if only he had a horse. After all, who ever heard of anybody living in the West without a horse? Anyway, Gallegher buys himself a Mustang and gets involved in one of the most sensational murder mysteries ever to... But why should I tell you? See for yourself.
Extra, get your latest edition of the Blast. Range war threatens, read all about it. Paper, ma'am? Range war threatens, get your edition of the Blast. Hey, Finn.
Hello, Gallegher.
Catch any horses?
Yeah, we got 6.
Deal still on?
Yeah, you betcha. Anytime you want.
Okay.
How'd it go?
I got a few left.
Not bad.
And I could have sold out if I had a horse.
Mm-hmm. Horse?
Yeah. If we had a horse, I could move around a lot quicker, cover more territory. And we could get subscribers and start a regular paper route. Business would jump 100, maybe 200%. You follow me?
I follow. You want a horse, is that correct?
Well, not especially for me, understand. It's for the business.
Oh, undoubtedly. Well, where is this horse? How much is it?
Finn Carlson's in town. He's got Mustangs. Last time he was in, he said I could have one for $10.
A wild Mustang?
Yes, ma'am.
Who's going to break it?
Me.
You?
Well, why not? Look, if it's the $10 you're worried about, forget it. I've been saving.
Well, then why ask me? Why don't you just go buy the critter?
Well, I kind of wanted your approval. And then there's something else.
Like maybe using my stable and my old saddle?
Well, sir, since I've been here, I only seen you use a rented buggy.
He's right, Whit. You haven't straddled a horse since you turned 50 and feisty.
Well, sir?
If you can buy a wild horse for $10 and break him yourself, you've got my old saddle.
Thank you, sir. And you too, ma'am. See you later.
We haven't spoken in 3 years, and everybody here knows it. What chance do I stand with you on the bench?
Come on, you know me better than that.
You're as human as the next man. The courts always swing with the popular opinion. And you know that most of the folks around here feel that I'm wrong.
Careful, Joe. Don't question my honor as a judge.
There's more at stake than honor, McManus.
Joe.
Stay out of this, Barlow. Honor comes cheap, but not my land and not my way of life.
No more, please. You want to prejudice our case?
It's prejudiced already. Legal shenanigans. Squatters on my land. I'm telling you now, McManus. Court or no court, you'll have to put me in my grave before you'll put me off my land.
Listen, Judge, I'm sorry. I mean, I'd like to apologize to my father. Yes, it's very embarrassing. Unfortunate. Lawsuit's been awful rough on him, and, I mean, it's just like calling him a thief. I mean, you can understand that.
I do understand, son. Just make it plain that he's making it worse for all of us.
Yeah, well, I'll certainly try that, sir.
Good. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm already late for court.
Hey, Finn.
Yeah, hello.
You told me to see you, but if you want to make it later.
No, it's fine.
I got the money right here.
Well, wait till you take your pick. When are you coming out?
I'm gonna try and get Whit to bring me out Saturday, okay?
Good. Well, we'll see you then.
Yeah, okay. All set for Saturday. You in a rig and drive me out?
Hmm? Oh, Saturday, yeah, sure.
Meanwhile, I got a beat for you. An argument between Judge McManus and Mr. Carlson over that lawsuit.
Go ahead.
Well, it seems they're enemies, see? And Mr. Carlson figures he won't get a fair shake in the judge's court. Well, if it hadn't been for Finn and that lawyer, they'd have had a fist fight. Maybe even a gun duel. You want me to start working up a front page lead?
Don't bother.
Sir?
I'm not about to report a little old quarrel between two old friends of mine.
This is more than a little old quarrel.
I don't pre-try anybody by newspaper, friend or foe. Nor do I run the kind of big-town scandal sheet you used to work for. Remember that.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you go out back there and polish up that saddle of yours?
Yes, sir.
All right, Judge. Morning, Whit.
What is this land suit against the Carlsons?
Well, I'm a little fuzzy about it, too, but it's a matter of Carlson's title to a couple hundred acres along the Rio Canal. Squatters claim it's open range. They have as much right to homestead it as he has to graze it.
And Judge McManus has to decide?
Yeah. The rough part of it is, both sides are kind of right. It's going to be a real Solomon's decision. Keep...
They're here, Mom. Hi, Mr. White.
Hello, Laura.
Miss Carlson?
Good morning, Mr. White.
I don't believe you've met my young assistant, Gallegher. This is Miss Carlson,
I'm pleased to meet you.
and her daughter, Laura.
I've seen you in town. You sell newspapers, don't you?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Miss. That's one of the things I do.
Laurie, take our friends over the shade and I'll fetch something for dusty throats.
Oh, don't go to any trouble, ma'am.
That's no trouble. All I have to do is stir and pour.
It's nice seeing you again.
Well, thank you. Nice seeing you.
Oh, tell Mrs. White the whole family just love the recipe. Finn was just crazy.
Hey, are those the Mustangs?
Yes.
Where's Finn?
He and Daddy are riding the fence.
He's not here?
They'll be back tomorrow.
But he said he'd be here to sell me a Mustang.
I know. He asked me to help you. Would you like to see him?
Yeah. I mean, thank you, miss. I'd be much obliged.
Would you excuse us, Mr. White?
You go right ahead. That's what we came for. Oh. Give me a hand here.
Yes, thank you. Where are the children? Oh, I see.
You'll have to excuse him. It's his first horse.
Pretty skinny looking lot, aren't they?
Well, right now. But if you feed them right, they'll fatten up. And if you groom them every day, they'll begin to look beautiful.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's all right. Horse trading is no time to be polite. Which one do you fancy?
Well, it's kind of hard to tell when they're all bunched up like that.
I'll move them around. Go on. Come on. Go on. Come on. Go on. Shoot. Shoot. Go. Let's go.
kind of fancy that spotted one there.
The Pinot?
Yeah, if that's what you call them.
Well, if you like Pinots. Personally, I find them kind of flashy and cheap. You know, show-offy. But if that's your taste.
Well, I'm not picking him for looks. I'm picking him for best horse.
Well, then you're wrong there, too. He happens to be the poorest of the lot.
Well, just for the sake of argument, which one you fancy?
The roan. That reddish horse with the white hairs that makes him kind of silver-tipped. He has a deep chest, sound straight legs, clean head and eyes. He's just all around best bronco, that's all. But if that's your fancy.
Well, like you said, there's no politeness in horse trading. So you're trying to pawn off a clinker on me, right?
Finn told me to see that you got the best. But if you insist on having the Pinot, who am I to stop you?
Miss Carlson. Oh, look, I'm sorry. Well, I'll level with you. I'm green at this. I don't know anything about horses. So I guess that kind of makes me at your mercy, you see?
So?
Well, so I'll take the roan.
You don't have to for my sake, you know.
I know it's for my sake. Here's the $10.
I'll get you a bill of sale. That bronc has our mark on him, and I wouldn't want you to get in trouble. Meantime, go right ahead. Cut him out and saddle him up.
Cut him out. Saddle him up.
Oh, what a greenhorn.
That's not funny. That boy could get hurt.
I doubt it, ma'am. Not Gallegher.
Laurie, you go over there and give that boy a hand.
Yes, Mother.
You know, it's going to take a bit of gentling to make that Mustang rideable, Mr. White.
That it is.
And it's obvious that boy can't tell the front end from the rear.
You leading up to something, ma'am?
Well, if you can spare the boy, I think you ought to spend the night. I mean, by tomorrow, he ought to have that bronc gentled and himself toughened up a bit.
That's a good idea. I'll go tell him.
Here's your bill of sale, Mr. Gallegher.
Thanks.
Stay back out of the way. Here, take this rope in. Every time he gives you slack, haul it in. That's close enough. Otherwise, he might hurt himself.
Gallegher?
Yes, sir?
It's been suggested that you stay here overnight.
How come?
Well, it's like this. There are two ways you can make a saddle horse out of a bronc. You can break him or you can gentle him. You can break a horse in a couple of hours, but you risk breaking his spirit. Or you can lay off the spurs and the quirts and use a lot of patience. Chances are you'll have a sound animal and a real friend. It's up to you.
Oh, I just want to do it the right way, sir.
Good. You just listen to the expert there. You'll be all right. And I'll see you tomorrow evening. A horseback. Thanks for a very pleasant visit, Miss Carlson.
Don't worry about the boy, Mr. White.
I won't.
Well, miss, what's next?
Well, as long as we're going to be working together, let's not be so formal. My name's Laurie. What's yours?
Gallegher.
That's your first name?
Well, it is by now. I never been called anything else.
All right, then, Gallegher. Open that gate and run the rest of the Mustangs into the other corral.
Okay, Laurie. Ha! Get over there!
Hold him down. Stand still. Pull him to you.
Easy, boy. Easy. Nobody's gonna hurt you.
We're doing real nice, Mom. I think Gallegher has the touch.
Well, you better call today. Supper's almost ready.
We'll be right in, as soon as Gallagher's grained him.
Easy, boy. Hey, I think he's getting used to me.
Hi, Gallegher.
Oh, hi, Laurie.
He's looking better all the time, isn't he?
Yeah.
Tired?
I guess I'm a lot more used to peddling papers and breaking horses.
Well, if you think this was a rough day, wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, maybe you better turn in.
I won't need much persuading to do that. A nice soft mattress sounds real good.
Gallegher, I'm afraid there'll be no nice soft mattress for you.
What do you mean?
You're gonna sleep right here on the ground, underneath your horse's nose.
I'm what?
You see, that's the way it's done. The quicker he gets used to the sight and smell of you, the easier he'll be to break.
But, Laurie...
Gallegher, look. Catch him in time right here while I get you a bedroll.
Morning, Bronc.
Rise and shine, Gallegher. Hi.
Morning, Laurie. What's that?
Riding gear.
How come?
Protection against falls.
Oh.
Go freshen up and get some breakfast. But not too much.
Huh?
Just hurry. Otherwise, the sun will be too hot. Ready?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Mount him gently. Remember now, don't try to look fancy. Just hang on any way you can.
Whoa, boy.
Ready?
Yeah.
Hold him, Gallegher. Stay on him. Hold him, Gallegher. Let's try again. Come on, Gallegher. Come on, Gallegher. Stay on it. Try it again. Stay on. Let's go.
What do you mean, let's go?
Well, let's not ruin a swell beginning. Now we start training. How do I stop him? Pull it on the rein.
Well, Gallegher, it looks like you won.
He was wonderful, Mom. Only fell about 8 times.
How do you feel?
Great, I think. Just a little sore in spots.
Those clothes are ruined, young man. I'll give you some of Finn's hand-me-downs. Why don't you come up to the house and have yourself a good hot bath?
Oh, no, he doesn't. Not until he's unsaddled his bronc, cooled him off, and rubbed him down.
Laura!
Oh, she's right, ma'am. First things first.
The flank cinch first. Uh-huh. Have you thought of a name for him yet?
Well, no. After all the trouble he's been giving me, I should be thinking of names. I never been through so much since I first went to work for a fella named Crowley back east on the Daily Press. Boy, what that guy used to put me through. Hey, that's what I'll call him, Crowley. Mr. Crowley. How about that?
Well, it's certainly different anyway.
Yeah, Crowley. Good old Crowley.
Ah, that looks better.
Yeah, I feel lots better, too. You got visitors.
Mother, it's that Mr. Hatfield again.
Never mind the blandishments, Mr. Hatfield.
I'd like a word with your husband, ma'am.
Mr. Carlson and my son are riding fence.
Well, when he returns, would you tell him for me if he would listen to reason, we could save ourselves some money.
As long as it's gone this far, Mr. Hatfield, we just soon take our chances with the law and Judge McManus.
Your menfolk's sentiments or yours?
The menfolk. I back 'em all the way.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Well, that's the way it is, Mr. Hatfield.
Ma'am?
Thieves.
That'll do, Laura.
I better be getting back to town now.
Well, not before you've had something to eat. Come on, baby.
Come on, let's go in.
You don't have to ride any further with me, Laurie. I can manage.
Well, if you don't want me.
Well, I didn't mean it that way.
I was just teasing. I'm sure you two will get along just fine.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you folks for all you did for me. Especially you.
You're much obliged, Gallegher.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll be meeting again sometime, huh?
I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I'll be seeing you. Hiya, Judge.
Hello, Gallegher. Yep.
Judge. When I saw the judge was dead, I brought him in. That's all I know.
You didn't pass any other riders on the road? See anyone else?
No, Mr. Snead.
Who would want to harm a nice old gentleman like Judge McManus? I can't imagine him having enemies that desperate.
No man as honest and fearless as Judge McManus is without enemies, Erm.
Well, if you're harking back to that argument that he had with Joe Carlson, you might as well forget it. He was not that kind of man.
Any man's capable of murder if he's pushed far enough. There's one thing for sure, you find out a lot more by looking underneath stones than you do by throwing them. Whit, will you be able to spare Gallegher in the morning? Sure. I want him to show me exactly where he found the judge, and maybe we can pick up something in the way of a sign.
Why wait till tomorrow?
Another hour, it'll be too dark to do any tracking. I'll see you first thing in the morning. Sheriff? Is it all right to print Gallagher's story about the judge? You go right ahead, but just the facts. No stones, please. This being sheriff's rough enough.
Over there. I wonder where the tracks lead.
Over this way. Come on.
horse tracks.
Yeah. That bushwhacker must have rode on into town.
Behind me and the judge.
More than likely. Because the best way to lose tracks is in a well-traveled road, and the best way to lose yourself is in a crowded town.
If you can see some tracks coming in, how about we follow them and see where they come from?
That's a good idea.
There they are. Tracks lead up to here. Carlson Ranch. How about that?
Offhand, I couldn't say. But when you're trying to solve a murder, you don't have the answers. You just keep asking questions.
Do you mean to say the tracks lead here?
That's right, Joe.
I bet those tracks were made by one of the men I told you about.
Well, it could be.
Gallegher was here, too.
Yeah, he told me. One of them was Mr. Hatfield, and who was the other?
I don't know. I never saw him before. Looked like a gunfighter to me.
Well, I'll look into that as soon as we get back to town. Joe, I'd be obliged to you if you and Finn had come in and make out statements as to just what happened.
Does that mean you suspect one of us?
Finn, this is just routine. I'm sure you can explain where you were yesterday afternoon.
Yeah. We were riding fence.
No problem. I'm sure you can prove that.
We were alone.
You know as well as I, according to law, family testimony is no alibi.
That's right. How are we going to prove anything?
Now, easy, son. This bears some thinking.
Do you mean to say you think we're guilty just because the tracks lead here?
There is a matter of motive.
Motive?
That argument your pa had with the judge. Joe, it's a matter of public record how you felt about Judge McManus trying that land suit you're facing.
That doesn't mean I'd kill him.
I personally don't believe that you did or would, but there's a lot of folks who will think you killed him. That's why it's best you come in now, make out your statements, and get it over with.
No, we don't, Pa. Can't you see what's happening? Hatfield and his squatters are framing us.
Finn, I don't see that at all. I come out here on my own. Now, if you just put that rifle down where you got it, I'll forget you ever picked it up.
My son's right. There's something fishy here. The tracks lead here. We don't have an alibi, yet we do have a motive. The way things look to me, there'll be a lynch mob waiting for us when we get to town.
Joe, if there's a lynch mob, they're going to have to get you over my dead body.
If you're lying there dead, Sheriff, it won't do us much good if we're up there swinging. I agree with Finn. Now, suppose you meander back to town and leave us to think it over.
Well, Joe, I'm not going to risk bloodshed just to bring you in today. But bring you in, I will. Good day, folks.
So long, Gallegher.
And you saw these two gentlemen at the Carlson Ranch prior to the murder?
Yes, sir.
How long before the murder, would you say?
About an hour before I left. About 2 hours, I'd say.
Any questions, Judge?
No, Mr. Cronin.
You may step down.
This court feels that the evidence against you is circumstantial, and as far as we can determine, lacking in motive. Now, you're free to go, but you're not to leave the county until a true indictment has been brought in by this court.
Thank you, sir.
As for your clients, Mr. Barlow, You must realize that their refusal to answer questions in this court has made them highly suspect, do you not, sir?
I understand, Your Honor. But I don't know where the men are. Mrs. Carlson refuses to tell me.
Therefore, you leave me no alternative but to issue a warrant for their arrest and to ask the grand jury for an indictment on suspicion of murder.
Here, start with this. Hurry.
Extra, read all about it. Extra, read all about it. Carlson sought for questioning. Suspects fear lynch mob. Extra, get your latest edition. Carlson sought for questioning. Fear lynch action. Extra.
All right, men, gentlemen. When you have a sheriff who's a friend of suspected murderers, you're not going to get justice unless you go after it yourself. I say there's one tried and true way to bring in men who are wanted by the law. And that's to go out there and bring in their women and hold them hostage. And if that don't fetch them in, I don't know what will. Well, do you agree or don't you? Now, here's what we ought to do. We ought to line up a posse and make sure the sheriff doesn't know what we're about.
I gotta warn Laurie and her mother. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Well, wait a minute. Hold it. Warn who?
Mrs. Carlson and her daughter. The squatters are going out there and grab them.
What on earth for?
I don't have time to explain. I'll see you later.
Well, that's a job for the sheriff, not for you.
He's out with a posse.
Nevertheless, you stay out of it. Gallegher, you come back here.
Sorry, Mr. White. Better clear out here and quick. Hatfield and his bunch are coming out here to take you as hostages.
Now, calm down, Gallagher. Sit down and tell us about it.
There's no time for that, ma'am. Those squatters are on their way out, and there's no telling what they might do.
We better go, Mom.
You get ready. I'll saddle the horses. See what I mean?
Smells good in there. Just about to have your dinner? Well, now. Looks like I'm right on time. I'm as hungry as a bear in springtime and twice as frisky. Do you mind if I join you? Sit next to place for me, will you, honey? Well, don't stand there like the cat's got your appetite, sonny. Sit down. Right there, boy. Smells right savory. What are we having?
Soup and pot roast.
Fine. Fine. You want to know something? I don't know when I've ever had a better way to pass the time. All right, ladies. Bring on the soup.
Let me help you with that.
No, you don't, kid. You let the pretty young lady bring it. She knows better than to spill hot soup down my neck now, don't you, honey?
Sir? How about a hot biscuit to go with that?
That's real polite of you. Hot homemade biscuit sounds downright tasty. Gallegher? Supposing you come back to the table and let the little honey bring me the biscuit.
I'll get him out of the warmer for you. Here, catch. All right, get your hands up. Ow! Hey, you see, Moran? I mean business. Now get up on your feet. All right, ladies, now's your chance. Laurie, you take my Mustang. Miss Carlson, you take his horse.
What about you?
Don't worry, I'll manage. You just get out of here and hurry.
It's too late, Gallegher. They're here.
We're not done for yet. All right, get moving. Out the front. You ladies stay behind me.
Come on, baby.
Don't nobody pull a gun. Moran's killed. We know what you're out here for, Mr. Hatfield, and it won't work. So listen careful, because I'm not used to guns and I'm real nervous. Understand?
Do what he wants, Hatfield. My gun's got a hair trigger.
What's that kid doing with your gun?
Never mind, just do what he says.
All right, boy. What do you want?
First of all, drop your guns on the ground. I'm not fooling.
Come on, man, drop the guns.
Easy now. No fast motions, and don't keep any hidden. Watch him, Laurie.
That man in the checkered coat has a rifle in his saddle holster.
Pete, get a bit of the rifle. Ma'am, you're still wearing that shoulder holster. Get rid of the pistol.
All right, now back off over there, away from the guns. Go on, move. Everybody except Hatfield. That'll do. Now dismount. You too, Mr. Hatfield. All right, Laurie, take Hatfield's horse and mount up. Mrs. Carlson, you get on Moran's horse.
What about you?
Never mind. I got it figured. Just go. Back off, Mr. Hatfield. Nothing funny. Get your hands up. Now ride. All right, you men out there, spook your horses. Run them off.
Run them off.
All right, now get your hands up, all of you. You go join them, Moran.
Sounds like the Carlson Ranch.
Gallegher at the ranch.
He's fighting the squatters. Help him.
You must tell me where your men are.
Perhaps you're right, Mr. Barlow. There's no sense for innocent men to be on the run.
Where are they?
I'll take you there myself. I'm afraid they might need some womanly persuading.
Whoa! Can't talk now, Mr. Snead. Whoa, Crowley!
Gallegher!
If you want to find out who shot Judge McManus and why, then be sure to be back with us next time, because you're not going to find out who done it from me.